Let's head to the coast of southern India to the ancient site of Mahabalipuram. It's an absolutely stunning place, but for centuries, it's also been home to a powerful legend, a story of magnificent temples literally swallowed by the sea. Today, we're going to dig into how that amazing myth became, well, an even more amazing reality.
Think about this for a second. Imagine a story that's been passed down for generations, something most people write off as just folklore. Then, in one devastating moment, nature itself rips back the curtain to show that the old stories were true all along. That right there is the incredible story of Mahabalipuram.
So just look at this. This is the Shore Temple. It was built way back in the 8th century, a masterpiece of granite that has been staring out at the Bay of Bengal for, get this, over 1,300 years. And for all that time, everyone believed it was the last one standing, the lone sentinel of a much bigger, almost mythical city of temples that the sea had swallowed whole.
Okay, so before we get to the big reveal, you've got to understand the legend that fueled centuries of curiosity and speculation. This is the myth of the 7 pagodas.
And you know, this wasn't just some local campfire story. The name 7 Pagodas actually shows up in the records of early European merchants and explorers. We're talking about Marco Polo himself. For these sailors, the towering temples were a crucial landmark on the coast, and their accounts gave real historical weight to this idea that there was way more than just one temple standing on the shore. But it was really the local people who kept this story breathing for generations. Elders would pass down these incredible stories, claiming that on super clear days, they could swear they saw the shiny copper tops of other temples way out at sea. The belief was solid. The Shore Temple was just one of 7, and its 6 sisters had been tragically lost to the waves a long, long time ago. Now, you might be thinking, a whole city of temples? Could they even build something like that back then? Well, to answer that, you have to know who we're talking about. The Pallava dynasty. And these guys were absolute masters of stone, true architectural innovators. So the Pallavas pulled off this huge technological leap. Think of it this way. Their early stuff was rock cut. They'd carve temples right out of giant boulders, like a massive sculpture. But then they figured out how to build structural temples. They'd cut huge blocks of granite and build from the ground up. And that right there is the key. It wasn't just about going taller. It meant they could build these huge, sprawling complexes. It's what made a city of 7 pagodas even possible in the first place.
You see, Mahabalipuram wasn't just some remote temple site. Oh, no. This was a bustling port city way back in the 4th century, trading with places as far away as Rome and China. It really hit its golden age under the Pallava kings, and it all peaked in the 8th century when King Narasimhavarman II built the Shore Temple. I mean, they were building a legacy in stone, something they probably thought would last forever. But for centuries, that's all it was. A myth, a legend. The glinting copper tops were just a memory. And then, in 2004, a total catastrophe changed absolutely everything. December 26, 2004. One of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded set off a horrific tsunami across the Indian Ocean. And the coast of Tamil Nadu, right where Mahabalipuram stands, was directly in its path. But right before the wave hit, something incredibly strange and honestly terrifying happened. The ocean just pulled back. It receded an unbelievable 500 meters. That's almost half a kilometer of seabed that no one alive had ever laid eyes on. And in that short, eerie moment, the locals and tourists on the beach saw the impossible. They reported seeing long rows of straight stones, clear signs of man-made structures, just appearing out of the wet sand. And then, just as quickly, the sea rushed back in to hide them again. The sheer destructive power of that wave had this totally unexpected side effect. It acted like a giant, accidental archaeological tool. It just scoured away centuries of sand and silt from the ocean floor. In a single, horrifying flash, the disaster revealed what had been hidden for generations. The myth was suddenly an eyewitness account. Well, those fleeting glimpses were all it took. Spurred on by what people saw, the Archaeological Survey of India and the Indian Navy launched a full-on investigation to find out what was really down there, under the waves. And what they found was incredible. The underwater surveys confirmed everything. Divers found this huge complex of submerged buildings. We're talking walls, platforms, and yeah,
the ruins of a collapsed temple, made from the exact same granite blocks as the shore temple. They even found these beautiful stone sculptures of lions and elephants, things that would have decorated the temples, plus coins from the Pallava era. I mean, the evidence was just undeniable. The carving style, the way they were built, the artifacts, it all pointed straight back to the Pallava period, a perfect match for the shore temple. The conclusion was just staggering. The legendary 6 pagodas, the lost temples of Mahabalipuram, they were very, very likely real. The myth was true. But here's the thing. Finding the temples was only half the story, right? It answered the question of if they existed. But it opened up a brand new mystery. What happened to them? What destroyed them in the first place? Okay, so archaeologists have two main theories on the table. Theory number one is a sudden, massive cataclysm. Maybe another huge tsunami, a lot like the one that uncovered them, hit the coast way back in the 13th century and just wiped out the temple complex in one catastrophic event. Then there's theory number two, a much slower, gradual decline. Think thousands of years of coastal erosion and changing sea levels, just slowly wearing the structures down until the ocean finally claimed them. And this discovery isn't just some closed chapter in a history book. Not at all. The work on the site is still going. And here's the coolest part. Today, because of how the 2004 tsunami shifted the seabed, something amazing happens. When the tide is low, you can actually see parts of the submerged ruins right from the shore. It's this constant, visible reminder of this huge complex that's just waiting right under the surface. The story of Mahabalipuram is just incredible. It shows us that sometimes the most wild, fantastic legends are actually rooted in reality, just waiting for the right moment to come back to light. The myth of the 7 pagodas is literally coming to life right before our eyes. And it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other secrets, what other lost worlds does the ocean still have hidden away?